Although Vita Health Group provided this exercise class provisional with your health and safety in mind, each individual participant has their own limitations and should consult their general practitioner or an appropriate medical professional prior to undertaking the class. Should you be prone to injury, are currently pregnant, or be managing any functional limiting medical conditions, please seek medical confirmation prior to participating. At all times, ensure you follow all instructions provided by Vita Health Groups throughout the entirety of the recording. Should you experience any symptoms of dizziness, nausea, or increased pain at any point during your participation, please stop and seek the appropriate advice from your general practitioner or the 111 service.
Hello and welcome to today's class. My name's Danny and I will be your instructor for today. This class is our neck and upper back advanced class. It's aimed at people who have pain in the neck and upper back region, and it's also for people who do have past experience of more advanced exercises. We're going to be targeting all the major muscle groups in and around the neck and shoulders, and the aims are to improve strength, coordination and flexibility and mobility in this class. All of the equipment that you will need for this class will be shown on screen. So just grab a bottle of water and then we'll get started with our warm-up. Let's get started with our warm-up then. So with this warm-up, we're aiming to increase our heart rate, activate the muscles, increase mobility, all ready for our exercise class that's coming up. So we're going to start off nice and simple with just some marching on the spot. We're going to be doing this for 1 minute. Do it at your own pace, whether you want to go nice and slow or quite fast, completely up to you. Fab, let's get going for 1 minute then. Make sure we're swinging those arms, lifting the feet nice and high whilst we're marching. Remember, we're working to increase that heart rate, so just taking it at your own pace. That's great, keep swinging those arms, lifting those knees nice and high. And we are nearly halfway there. Great. Again, taking it at your own pace, just as we start the warm-up. Okay, 10 more seconds. Great, and bring that down to a stop. Brilliant. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're just going to do some jogging on the spot this time. We're only going to go for 30 seconds this time. Again, doing it at your own pace. Just make sure that you've got a nice, safe environment around you. Okay, when we're ready, off we go. Again, make sure we're moving those arms and lifting those feet nice and high off the floor. That's it, halfway there. Good, 5 seconds left. And bring it down to a stop. Brilliant. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to do some hip circles. So for this one, I want your feet sort of shoulder width apart on the floor and the hands just resting on your hips. We're going to start off with very small circles. So we're going to sort of push the hips to one side, bring them round to the front and round to the back. Again, just do them at your own pace, and also with the circle, just make it as small or as big as you can, depending on how you're feeling. We're going to go for 30 seconds. When we're ready, off we go. That's it. So just make sure we're concentrating on really pushing those hips all the way around the movement. That's good. Because we're coming up to halfway, we're going to switch and go in the opposite direction. Again, like I said, if you need to do small circles with how you're feeling at the moment, that's absolutely fine. Or nice and big circles, doesn't matter. Great, and come to a stop. Okay, for the next exercise, we're going to go into doing some leg swings. For For this one, I'm going to do it just freestanding, but if you need to, you can hold onto a wall, hold onto the back of a chair, whichever works best for you. We're going to start off with our right leg. So again, like I said, holding onto something for stability if needs be. We're going to go for 30 seconds. We're just going to lift the leg out in front of us and then slowly lift behind. Okay, off we go. So just swinging that leg at your own pace. Like I said, if you need to hold on to something, then that's absolutely fine. Good. That's great. Keeping the knee nice and straight and just swinging back and forwards. That's it. We've got 5 seconds left on this leg and then we'll switch over. Great. Okay. So if you need to swing the chair around to the other side or reposition yourself so that you can hold onto the wall the opposite way, that's fine. And then we'll go for 30 seconds again. So on the left leg this time, swinging back and forth. That's great. Again, just doing it at your own pace, lifting the leg in a range of movement that's comfortable for you. Good. Okay, 10 seconds left on this leg. Great, and come to a stop, just back into our resting position. So the next activity that we're going to do is going to be with our arms. We're going to go for some arm circles. So what we'll do, we'll start off with our right arm because we started with our right leg. We'll pop our hand out to the side. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with some circles, just going backwards like this. If you need to do the circles nice and small, that's absolutely fine. Obviously, if you can, then we're going to do nice big circles with the arm. Again, just do whatever feels comfortable for you at the moment. And again, we're going to go for 30 seconds. That's it. Like I said, make sure we're doing this one in a comfortable range of movement. It can be as small or as big as you need at the moment. That's great, we've done 15 seconds on this arm. That's great, last 5 seconds. Brilliant, okay. And this time we're going to do the exact same on the left arm. So again, arm out to the side, you can do small circles if you need to, obviously big ones if you can as well. Off we go, 30 seconds on this one. That's great. Again, just going at the speed that sort of works for you at the moment. If you need to move nice and slowly through this movement, that's fine. Obviously, if you can, then obviously we'll go a bit quicker. That's great, and just 5 more seconds. Perfect, okay. Last exercise of our warm-up, we're going to do some movements with our spine. So we're going to work in 4 different directions. We're going to go for a forward movement, a backwards movement, and then side to side as well. So what I'll do first is I'll show you what we're going to do, and then I'll explain how many we're going to do after that. So we're going to have the feet shoulder width apart again. For the forwards movement, I'd like you to have your hands resting on the front of your legs. And then what I want you to do nice and slowly is just come down as far as you can until you start to feel that bit of a stretch in the lower back, and then return up to your neutral position. Then we'll go for the opposite. So this time I'll turn to the side to show you, you're going to lean backwards. Again, just a gentle movement and back up to the neutral position. Then hands down by our sides. It doesn't matter which side you do first, but you're going to bend over to the side, back up and over to the other side. We're going to do 5 in each direction. Again, just going as far as you can. Okay, we'll do them all together. So if we start at the front, we're going to come down, just go as far as you can, and then back up to that neutral position. Then we're going to lean back, again to the neutral position, hands down by our sides, drop one hand down the side of the leg, back up, and then over to the side. So that's 1 repetition. So now we'll go for our second. So again, we're going to come back down the front, nice and slowly and controlled. And then this time lean backwards. great. And then down to one side, back up and over into the other direction. Brilliant. On to number 3. So back to the front, coming down as far as you can, and back up, and then leaning back and back into that neutral position. Hands down by our sides, and we'll go over to one side and back up, then over to the other side and back up. And now for number 4, back to the front, leaning forwards and back up. Hands on our hips, and we'll lean backwards, back to our neutral position and down to one side and back over to the other direction. Brilliant. Last one now, hands back on the front. We're going to lean down as far as we can, back up to the middle, hands on our hips and lean back to the middle, and then this time we'll drop down one side, back up, and then down to the other side. Okay, that completes our warm-up. So if you want to go and grab a bottle of water ready for our exercise class, and we'll get started. Okay, so this exercise is our prone scapular retractions with an additional arm lift. So we're going to be lying on our front for this exercise. So make sure you take your time getting down to the floor. If you need to pause the video whilst you do so, then make sure you do and just join back in when you're ready. So we're going to be doing 3 sets of this exercise. We're going to do 12 repetitions in each set. And what we're going to be doing is lying on our front, with our arms down by our sides. Our forehead will rest on the mat. And then from there, what we're going to do, we're going to squeeze our shoulder blades back together. So our shoulders are being lifted off the floor. And then we're going to lift the hands up, hold for 1 second, and relax. Okay, so lift the shoulder blades, hands up, hold, and relax. Okay, we're going to repeat this 12 times. We'll have a break, and then we'll come back for our second set. Okay, so head onto the floor, and up we go. Shoulders and arms, hold and down. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the arms, hold and down. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the arms and come down. Okay, that's 3. And down. Breathe in nice and slowly through this exercise. Okay, that's halfway there. So 6 more. Squeeze the shoulder blades, arms up, and come down. Squeeze the shoulder blades, arms up, and back down. 4 more. Squeeze the shoulder blades, up, and back down. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the arms, and relax back down. Okay, 2 more. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the arms, and relax back down. Okay, so that's the end of our first set. We're going to have a 20-second break now. Grab yourself a drink if you need one, and then we'll return for our second set. Okay, and let's get back into our second set then. So we're going to lay back down on our front, head to the mat. We're going to go for 12 repetitions again, arms by our sides, and we're going to lift the shoulders and lift the arms, hold and relax. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the arms and relax. Lift the shoulder blades, lift the arms and relax. And again, making sure we're nice and controlled as we come back down to the floor. We're not just dropping back down. Okay, that's halfway, so we've got 6 more. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the arms, and back down. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the arms, and back down. Nice, slow and controlled movements. That's it. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the arms, and back down. 2 more. Lowering the arms nice and gently and controlled. Last one. Okay, that's great. So that's the end of our second set. So we're going to take another 20-second break, grab yourself a drink if you need one, and then we'll come back for the final set. Okay, and back into our final set. So we're going to come back down onto our front, arms down by our sides, head on the mat, and off we go. We're going to squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the arms, and lower back down. Lift the shoulder blades, lift the arms, and back down. Squeeze, lift, hold, and back down. Nice and slowly. Okay, that's halfway, so 6 more. Breathe in nice and steady. Okay, 2 more. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the arms, and lower. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift, hold, and lower back down. Okay. Now in your own time, we're going to come back up into a standing position. And that is the end of that exercise. So we're going to take a 20-second break, grab yourself a drink, and then we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, so this exercise is our plank to push-up position. So for this one, we're going to be down on the floor. So take your time getting down. If you need to pause the video whilst you do that, then make sure you do and just join back in when you're ready. What we're going to do from here, we're going to start in our plank position on the floor, so on our forearms. And then from there, we are going to lift one hand and then the other up into our push-up position. Then we'll drop down, back into our plank, okay? Trying to keep the body as straight as you can throughout. With this one, we're gonna do it on a timer. So we're gonna go consistently for 30 seconds at your own pace. We'll have a bit of a break and then we'll come back for 30 more seconds, okay? So when you're ready, into the plank position. If you find it too difficult as well, you can go on your knees instead, whichever you find better for you. Okay, off we go for 30. So go nice and slowly, at your own pace. Nice steady breathing. For 30 seconds and relax. Okay. So that's the end of our first set. We're going to take 20 seconds break, have a drink if you need one, and then we'll come back for the second set. Okay, and back onto our second set. So again, we're going to get into our position. So like I said before, you can be up on your feet like I showed in the last one, or you can be down on your knees. I'll show you that one for this. So keep the body nice and straight, and we're going to go for 30 seconds. Off we go. So at our own pace, so even when we're on our knees, lifting nice and straight with the body. Just do whichever feels right for you at the moment. So you can get up on your feet, which is more difficult, or down on the knees, whichever works for you. Okay, and then rest. And in your own time, we're going to come back up into our standing position. And that is the end of that exercise. So make sure you grab yourself a drink. We'll be back in 20 seconds for our next one. Okay, so this exercise is going to be our weighted shrugs. So we're going to need our dumbbells or our weights for this one. So make sure we pick them up nice and carefully, keeping our back nice and straight. We're going to have the weights hanging down by our sides. Okay, so palms facing each other, facing the body. From here, what we're going to do is we're just going to shrug our shoulders. Okay, so the arms stay completely still. You're going to lift the shoulders as high as you can, hold it for 1 second, and then relax back down, okay? We're going to do 3 sets of these. We're going to do 8 repetitions in the first 2 sets, and then we're going to do the last set until failure, but I'll explain that a little bit more when we get there. Okay, so for the first one, let's go for 8 repetitions. So arms stay completely relaxed, just holding on to those weights, and then lift and lower. Okay, a nice, slow and controlled movement. Up and back down. Holding it for that 1 second up at the top. That's 4. Nice, steady breathing. Okay, 1 more. Holding it up at the top. And when we get to 8, we'll relax. Pop the weights down on the floor, nice and carefully. And that is the end of our first set. We're going to take 20 seconds. If you need a drink, make sure you get one, and then we'll come back for our second set. Okay, on to our second set. So we're going to pick those weights up nice and carefully again, keeping the back nice and straight as we lift. Okay, hands down by our sides, and remember palms facing in against the body. From here, we're going to go for 8 repetitions. So we're going to lift, hold, and lower. Okay, 7 more. Lift, hold, and lower. Nice, steady breathing throughout. Lifting those shoulders as high as you can on this one. Okay, 3 more. Lift, hold, and lower. Okay, pop those weights down nice and carefully. Okay. Great, okay, we're going to take 20 seconds, grab yourself a drink if you need one, and then we're going to come back for that third set of this exercise. Okay, so on to the third and final set of this exercise. So with this one, like I said, we're going to do something slightly different, and we're going to work until failure. So what I mean by that is we're going to keep going until you feel like you can't do any more of this exercise. Okay, so either that the muscles feel too tired to lift, as you try and shrug, you just can't get to the top of that movement. Or if you find that you're not using the correct form. So for example, if you find that you're starting to arch the back to try and lift the weights up, then that is your failure point, okay? We want to keep going until we either can't lift the weights anymore or until we can't perform the correct form. Okay, so nice and carefully, bend down and pick up your weights into that position with our legs sort of shoulder width apart, hands resting down by the side, and off we go. We're going to shrug and back down. Remember, we're going until our failure point on this one. Lift, hold, and lower. That's it. Keep going until you feel like you can't do any more. If you can do more than I can, that's absolutely fine. And just pause the video, keep going until you find your failure point, and then join back in once you're ready. Okay, when you are finished, make sure we pop those weights down nice and carefully on our mats. Okay, and that is the end of that exercise. So we're going to take another 20 seconds break. If you need a quick drink, make sure you grab one, and then we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, so this exercise is called the 2-part neck stretch. For this one, you can be standing or you can be seated, whichever you prefer. What we're going to do in this one is we're going to be holding a static stretch. So we're going to go both sides for 15 seconds, have a bit of a break, and then we'll repeat, and we're going to do it 3 times through. So what we're going to do for this one, bring the hand, it doesn't matter which, as we'll do both sides, over to the opposite side of the head. You're very gently going to pull the head towards the shoulder, just as far as you can go. And then when you get to the end of your movement, you're going to try rotating the head so that you're looking towards the floor. You'll have to move the hand more towards the back of the head and just pull down very gently. You should feel the stretch across the back of the neck, in between the neck and the shoulder. Like I said, we're going to hold for 15 seconds on one side, then we'll go to the other side, hold for 15 seconds, and then we'll have a little bit of a break. Okay, so bring the hand over the head, pull to the side very gently, rotate the head towards the floor, move that hand to the back of the head and pull down, and off we go for 15. Okay, so just going as far as you can until you feel that gentle pulling down the back of the neck. It shouldn't be painful. If it is, you might have just gone too far. So just ease up on the pressure from the hand. Okay, and relax from there. Right, now we're going to switch to the other side. So we'll bring the hand over the head, bring the head towards the shoulder. When we get to our limit, we're going to turn and look towards the floor, move the hand to the back of the head and pull forwards, and off we go for 15. So like we said, we should be feeling that stretch from the top of the neck down towards the shoulder. Okay, and then just relax from there. Okay, we're going to have a few seconds before we go back into doing the other side. If you feel like you do need longer, then just pause the video and then join back in when you feel ready. But if not, then let's get started on the other side. So hand over the head, pull the head very gently towards the shoulder, then we rotate towards the floor, move the hand to the back of the head and just apply that little bit more pressure, and off we go for 15. Don't worry about how far you can get for now. It's one of those things that will increase the more that you do it and the more that we loosen the muscles around the neck. Okay, and relax from there. Let's go straight into the other side. So bring the hand over the head, pull the head towards the shoulder. Then when you get to your limit, rotate towards the floor, move the hand to the back of the head and apply that extra bit of gentle pressure, and off we go for 15 seconds. Making sure we're being nice and gentle with the hand when we're pulling the head. So we don't want to pull too far. And relax from there. Okay, so like we did before, we're going to have a few seconds before we go into doing the other side. If you do feel like you need longer, make sure you pause the video and then come back when you are ready. So off we go with the opposite side. Bring the hand over, pull the head towards the shoulder, rotate towards the floor, move the hand to the back of the head and apply that extra bit of gentle pressure and hold for 15. Breathing in nice and slowly and breathing out. Very good. And relax from there. Okay, last one now. We're going to go over to the other side. Bring the hand over, gently pull the head towards the shoulder, then rotate the head towards the floor, move the hand to the back of the head, apply a little bit of gentle pressure, and off we go for 15. Nice, slow and steady breathing. Okay, and relax from there. That's great. So that's the end of that exercise. We're going to take a 20-second break now. If you need a drink, make sure you grab one, and then we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, so this exercise is the resisted neck extensions. We're going to be seated for this one. And then what we're going to do with this one, we're going to do what we call an isometric contraction. So that means that the head is going to be staying still and whilst we're contracting the muscles, okay? So we're doing the muscle contraction, but whilst keeping the joints in one place. So to do this, what we're going to do, we're going to take our hands behind our head. With the head, you're trying to look up towards the ceiling. With the hands, you're almost trying to push the head down towards the floor, okay? So we're doing the two opposing forces. So it won't actually look like you're moving the head anywhere. The head's gonna stay still, but in this position, you're pushing back with the head, pulling forwards with the hands. So you're feeling that muscle contraction, adding that resistance in with the hands, okay? We're gonna hold that position for 30 seconds. If you feel like your muscles tire out before 30 and you can't hold it for 30, just release some of the pressure with the hands, okay? Don't push so hard with the hands, okay? Right, so let's get into that position. So hands behind the head, and then off we go for 30 seconds. Just gonna push gently. So you should be pushing back with the head, pushing forwards with the hands. You should be able to feel the muscles down the back of the neck contracting to keep that head upright. That's it. 5 more seconds. Like we said, if it's too difficult, just release the pressure slightly and relax. Okay, brilliant. So we're gonna take a few seconds between repetitions on this one. We're gonna go for 3 repetitions, so we've got 2 more left to do. If you feel like you need more time before we go again, then just pause the video and join back in when you feel ready. But if not, then we're gonna place those hands behind our head again, and off we go for 30 more seconds. So we're pushing forwards with those hands, pushing back with the head. So each of them are resisting the other. Okay, so from the outside, it won't look like we're doing a lot, but from the inside, you should be feeling that muscle contraction and you should feel the resistance between the head and hands. Okay, and relax from there. Brilliant. Okay, so as we did before, we're going to take a few seconds break. If you feel like you need longer, make sure to pause the video now and come back when you feel ready. Okay, but if not, then let's get those hands back in that position for the 3rd and final repetition of this exercise. So off we go, pushing the hands into the head and pushing the head into the hands. It should feel as though if you were to take your hands away, the head would move backwards because that's the direction we're pushing it in. And if you were to bring the head forwards, the hands would also push forwards, okay? Because we've got that resistance from both sides. Holding it nice and still, 5 more seconds. And then relax. Okay, brilliant. So that is the end of that exercise. We're going to take a 20-second break now. Get yourself a drink if you need one, and then we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, so this exercise is called the weighted full range of movement abduction. All that means, abduction is when we're bringing our arms out to the side, and for the full range of movement, we're going to be going right from the bottom all the way up to the top, whilst holding on to our weights. So nice and carefully, pick up your weights. We're going to go for 8 repetitions. We're going to do 3 sets, and let's get started with our first one. Okay, so you're going to start palms facing each other, down by your sides, and then we're going to lift all the way to the top, hold for a second, and back down. That's 1, and we've got 7 more. Up to the top, and back down. Up to the top, nice steady breathing, and back down. Okay, this is our 4th one, so that's halfway. 4 more to do. Nice and steady with the breathing. Keeping the rest of the body nice and still. Should just be those arms that are moving. 2 more. That's great. Okay, then very carefully pop your weights back down, keeping the back nice and straight. Great, okay, we'll take 20 seconds break and then we'll come back for our second set. Okay, back for our second set then, so make sure you pick up your weights nice and carefully. Come into that position with the feet shoulder width apart, palms facing each other, down by your sides, and let's go for our second set of 8 repetitions. So up to the top, and back down. If you can't get all the way to the top, that's fine. Just go as far as you can, and then lower back down. Okay, that's 4, so we're halfway. Keeping the rest of the body nice and still. Okay, 2 more. Nice steady breathing. And back down. Okay, place those weights down nice and carefully. Then we're going to have a 20-second break, grab yourself a drink if you need one, and then we'll come back for our next exercise. Okay, so into our final set for this exercise, we're going to do something slightly different with the repetitions on this one, and we're going to do the exercise until failure. So we want to keep going until we feel like our muscles can't do any more. If you can reach 8, that's great, and then if you feel like you can carry on, that's brilliant. If you feel like you can't get to 8 and your muscles are too tired before then, that's also absolutely fine. We're finding your failure point, so just go up until you feel like the muscles can't lift those weights anymore, okay? So pick up those weights nice and carefully, feet shoulder width apart, into our starting position with the arms down by our sides, palms facing each other, and then off we go for our final set, lifting up to the top and back down, and just keep going until you feel like you can't do any more, or until you start to notice but you're using other parts of your body to help lift. So if you find that you're moving your back and things like that to try and get the weights up, then that's our failure point. Okay, keep going then. If you can do more than I can, then just pause the video and continue on, and then join back in once you have found your failure point. Okay, so that's the last exercise of that set. What we're going to do now is we're going to have another 20-second break. Grab yourself a quick drink if you need one, and we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, so for this exercise, we're going to be doing a child's pose with a twist. So we're going to be down on the floor for this one in a kneeling down position. So take your time getting to the floor. If you need to pause the video whilst you do so, then just join back in when you're ready. Okay, so as I said, we're going to be in a kneeling position for this one with the feet tucked under so that we've got the top of the feet towards the mat. For our standard child's pose, we would just put our hands out straight in front, and then we would come down onto our heels like so. But as I said before, we're going to add in a twist to this exercise. So we'll go into the original sort of 4-point kneeling position. We're going to walk your hands out to the side so that you're on a bit of an angle. Knees are still facing forwards. Hands out to the side, and then we're going to take those heels back again just as far as we can and pull the head down. So you should feel the stretch more along one side of the body. Okay, we're going to hold it for 20 seconds on one side, 20 seconds on the other. We'll take a quick break and then we'll go again. We're going to repeat it 3 times on each side. Okay, so into that 4-point kneeling position, take the hands over to one side and then come back onto the heels and down, and we're holding for 20 seconds. So we should be keeping that head down throughout the stretch, looking towards our knees. Making sure that you can just feel the gentle stretch on this one. We shouldn't have any pain. If we do, we might have gone too far. And then coming up out of the stretch, take the hands back to that 4-point kneeling position, and then walk our hands over to the opposite side. And again, we're going to come down towards our heels, head down, and relax into that position for 20 off. So we should feel that stretch down one side of the back more than the others. Reaching the hands out as far forward as you can. And nice and steady breathing, and then come back up into that 4-point kneeling position and then back to our knees. Okay, we're going to take a few seconds break. If you feel like you need longer in between the repetitions, just pause the video and take that time and come back when you're ready. But if not, then we're going to go back into our 4-point kneeling position. Take the hands out to the side that we started on, and then drop the hips down towards the heels, head tucked in, and off we go for 20. Nice, slow and steady breaths. Really stretching the arms out as far as you can get them. Nice and gentle breathing. And then come back up. Back into that 4-point kneeling position. Take the hands over to the opposite side and then bring those hips down to the heels again. Tuck the head in and try and relax into that position if you can. And nice, slow and steady breathing. Okay, and then slowly bring yourself back up into the 4-point kneeling position and back down to our knees. Okay, so we're going to take a few seconds again like we did before. Again, if you need longer, make sure to pause the video and come back when you are ready. If not, then we will go again. So this is our last one on each side. So really try and relax into the stretch as much as you can. So up onto our 4-point kneeling position, hands out to the original side, and bring those hips down towards the heels, tuck the head in, and off we go. Really relaxing into the position. Pulling those hands as far away from the body as we can. Okay, and back up into our 4-point kneeling position. Take the hands over to the other side, and again bring those hips down towards the heels and head between the arms, looking at your knees. Relax into there. Nice, slow and steady breathing for this one. Okay, and then coming back up into our 4-point kneeling position. And in your own time, you're going to come back up to our standing position. Okay. So that is the end of that exercise, and that's also the last exercise of this class before we move into our cool down. So we're going to have another 20-second break. Grab yourself a quick drink if you need one, and then I'll meet you back here for the cool down. Okay, let's get started with our cool down. So with the cool down, we're going to be focusing on bringing that heart rate back down, bringing our breathing rates back down, and sort of just relaxing the muscles after the class that you've done. So we're going to start off nice and easy with 30 seconds of deep breathing. So for the breathing, I'd really focus on breathing in through the nose and then breathing back out through the mouth. We're wanting those nice deep breaths. So when we are breathing in, try and think about sort of filling the rib cage, and then obviously releasing on the breath out. Okay, we're going to go for 30 seconds all together. Off we go. So like I said, breathing in through the nose and back out through the mouth. And make sure, like we said, we're really trying to fill that rib cage with air when we're breathing in, and then breathing out nice and slowly. You might find that at the moment, because you've just finished the exercises, that it's a bit difficult to slow that breathing rate down, but just go at your own pace. Okay, fab. What we're going to go on to next, again, nice and easy, we're going to go on to some walking on the spots. So in the warm-up before, we were obviously trying to increase our heart rate with the marching and the jogging. This time we're trying to bring it back down. So we're going to go nice and slowly and just walk on the spot. Okay, for 30 seconds, off we go. That's great. So still swinging those arms like we were before, but obviously just in a bit more of a relaxed position on this one, and going a little bit slower. That's great. That's halfway there. Five more seconds. Great. Okay, this time we're going to move on to doing some hip circles. So we did these in our warm-up before, but again, a bit like the walking, we're going to bring the pace down on this one. So we're going to have the feet shoulder width apart, hands on the hips, and again, make the circles as small or as big as you can. And we're just going to go big circles with the hips, nice and slowly. We're going to do 30 seconds all together. Off we go. So bringing the pace down a little bit on this one, just moving through the full movement, nice and slowly. We can still concentrate on our breathing in these cool down exercises. So really trying to slow that breathing down. 10 more seconds. Great, okay. For the next movement, we're going to be going down to the floor. So take your time getting down. If you need to hold on to something, then do that. Nice and carefully onto the floor. And we're going to have the feet out in front, legs nice and straight. I want you to try and keep the knees as straight as possible with this one, and then we're going to rest the hands on front of the thighs. From here, we're just going to slide down the legs just as far as you can, and we want to grip on to our legs as close as we can to our ankles, and we're going to hold that stretch for 30 seconds. Okay, so moving down just as far as you can, and then let's hold for 30 seconds. Off we go. Still focusing on that breathing when we're doing this movement, so breathing nice and slowly in and out, and we should feel that nice gentle stretch down the back of the legs. Okay, we're halfway there. Ten seconds left. And 5 seconds. Okay, and sit back up into that relaxed position. We're going to get ourselves back up into a standing position, but again, take your time. If you need to hold on to something to help you get up, then that's absolutely fine. Okie doke. Once we're up then, for the next movement, we're going to be doing some stretches, mobility work for the middle back. So we're going to have the feet shoulder width apart again. The hands this time are going to come up behind the head. And we're going to be doing 4 different movements. So we're going to be coming down into a forward position, back up and into a slightly extended position. Then we're also going to do some flexion to the side, back up into a middle position and over to the side. Okay, we might add in a little bit of rotation too, just to stretch a few extra muscles. We're going to go for 30 seconds. I want you to go at your own pace, and we're just going to move through all those different movements, just making sure that we're stretching all the right muscles. Okay, off we go all together. So coming forwards, back up into that slightly extended position, and back down, over to the sides, and then rotating. That's great. And again, we're going to go slightly forwards and up and slightly back. Then we're going to lean to the sides. And again, we might go slightly over 30 seconds, but we want to get all those movements back in. And the final rotation. Okay, and then bring the arms back down into our neutral position. We're going to finish off by doing 30 seconds of our deep breathing again. So we're going to go in through the nose, out through the mouth, make sure we're trying to fill that rib cage there, and then release. Okay, off we go. So hopefully this breathing will be sort of easier now. Hopefully you'll be breathing that a little bit slower. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Again, really trying to fill that rib cage with air. And back down. Brilliant. Okay, well done everyone. So thank you for attending our exercise class today. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we hope to see you very soon on our next session. Thank you.